two strong earthquakes struck northwestern Venezuela, causing damage and injuries. The first event was a magnitude 6.2 quake which struck at 6:21 p.m. local time at a spot 128 kilometers southeast of the city of Maracaibo. As the ground rapidly shook back and forth for around 9 seconds, some debris fell off of buildings, cracks formed in scattered structures, and in at least one case, a building seems to have completely collapsed. Then, 5.5 hours later at 11:51 p.m. local time, an even stronger magnitude 6.3 earthquake struck 2.8 kilometers to the east, causing more intense ground motion than the prior quake, resulting in additional damage. What had just occurred was a rare instance of a so-called doublet earthquake, where one earthquake directly preceded an even larger magnitude event, meaning the 6.2 was a foreshock. While uncommon, the odds of any given earthquake representing a foreshock before a larger magnitude earthquake within a week's time span is about 5%. And yet, despite representing the largest earthquakes to have struck underneath mainland Venezuela since 1997, the damage for all intents and purposes was surprisingly limited, and there's a key reason for this. While many structures in South America are built out of unreinforced brick, which often fares poorly under significant earthquake strain, structures in Venezuela are largely built out of concrete. And not just ordinary concrete, but concrete that has been reinforced, making it uniquely suitable to come out of a larger magnitude earthquake with less severe damage than traditional concrete structures. This is why I interpret the current U.S. Geological Survey model damage estimates to be at least an order of magnitude too high in both categories, especially because no fatalities have so far been reported.
My friends, today is not a good morning. Today, the war has begun.
Kevin began the offensive at 6 a.m.
We knew about the attack in advance, and therefore prepared.
You remember my brave Falcons, whom I named the Forest Suicide Squad.
I can't fight this alone. Not anymore. Not against a network like his.
There he is, my first Falcon. Veteran. Lost an eye in the Berry Wars of 22.
Explosives expert. Field legend. They say he once defused a landmine by staring at it until it gave up.
Codename Trashmaster. Broke into a ranger's lunchbox, framed a possum for it, doesn't talk, doesn't blink, steals everything day, including your trust.
Recon and comms. Speaks in death stares and passive aggression.
River Patrol. Me and Bob. He doesn't talk much, he just watches.
Take a look at what Beaver Bob has prepared.
Explosive expert who managed to get us precious grenades from skunk shit on the forest black market. That's a great rarity.
And take a look at what Trashmaster rigged up for us. These will be our shields. You won't believe it, my friends. We already have 10,000 subscribers. Thank you so much.
Now, we begin Operation Meat Storm. Almost forgot. Donatella, my Bigfoot wife, is also with us.
Kevin is too strong, but we'll beat him today. That little forest demon won't win this war.
We need to know what the situation is now.
First one. How do you hear me?
The scout reported that the situation is only intensifying.
told Beaver Bob to begin.
So far, we're winning, but we shouldn't celebrate too soon. I don't know what that cunning bastard Kevin might have prepared for us. Oh, shit. Everyone down.
I got a Mazzaro knife, and what followed was an absolute fiasco. Here's what really...
You know what to do.
Baba Yaga!
I told you, Kevin. You picked the wrong forest.
Run! No. Holy furballs, it's raining toothpicks of death!
That's it. That was the last straw of my patience. Oh, you like it brutal? Good. So do I. Bob, activate Whisper of Death. Fire! Gotta go check out what's happening over there, since the attacks have stopped. It looks like it's all over. It seems we completely annihilated them. All their special forces, infantry, were liquidated. But I can't find Kevin.
No.
Damn you,
Kevin. I will find you.
And so, my friends, today we stood our ground in this battle. It was tough.
But this is not the end yet. Kevin managed to escape. My spies will give me information as soon as he returns to the fort.
Oh my god, I can see the fire. That is so sick. Beautiful.
Some interesting video coming into the KCRA 3 newsroom from across the region as a group of fiery lights streaked across the sky, stunning onlookers. This video was shot from Yuba City, and those lights were moving from west to east across the sky. Good evening, and thank you for joining us here for our News at 11. I'm Edie Lambert.
I'm Galston Dart. We've been getting calls and video from viewers all over the region tonight, and whatever it certainly was eye-catching.
Whoa, look up. Whoa, something's burning up in the sky.
That was the scene before 8 o'clock tonight in Roseville. That particular viewer was showing off the lights on his fence when that other light show caught his attention.
Roseville.
It's the Transformers, dog.
That was video out of Auburn. That viewer compared the lights to a scene out of a Transformers movie.
Is that? That's scary and cool at the same time.
Pretty much sums up how some folks felt, scary and cool all at once. Well, check out this video that's from Sacramento. It was helpful. The clouds we saw last night at this time had already blown away, really giving us just these nice, crisp images. And here's an idea of just how large of an area this was spotted in. These are views from Orangevale, Granite Bay, Rancho Cordova, Vacaville, and Stockton.
All right, with more, meteorologist Dirk Verdorn has been looking into what those were. Dirk, have you been able to narrow it down?
Yeah, I don't know for certain, but there's some things you want to look for to kind of decide whether or not this was possibly a meteor or was this some space debris that's going across our sky. So these are the things you look for when you're trying to get an idea of what this could be. As a meteor is going to be traveling along at a much higher rate of speed. It also is going to burn out faster, and it also can come at you from all different angles. I've seen numerous meteors where it's just come straight down, and they've been very bright and moving very fast, and they burn up. The other thing about space debris is it's going to travel a bit slower, it's going to last a bit longer in the sky, and it's going to travel horizontally. So it's going along with its orbit that's going around the Earth, and that's going to slowly work its way into the atmosphere, and you'll see it burn up. And so with these two descriptors, looking at what we saw with the video and the descriptions that we had of what people saw, I would more than likely say it's a piece of space debris that came through our skies on those clear night that we had tonight. Back over to you.
Yeah, it sure was exciting. Dirk, thanks for that explainer there. Well, we have more video of the fiery lights in the sky on the KCRA3 app and on KCRA.com, and you can check out the images and even upload yours if you shot some tonight. We might show them on TV. It's all on the KCRA3 app and our website.
Honey time. 1 spoon.
There's lots of ways to get it. Here, I'm going to chase everyone away with some intelligent stuff here. This is Forgotten Laws of Money from Gresham's to Cantillon Financial History. Giving them a thumbs up and full credit for the video.
It's invented a new kind of money. And every empire eventually learns it hasn't, because money follows rules, deep, stubborn laws that don't care about politics, promises, or optimism. These laws aren't written in constitutions or taught in schools. They've been discovered, forgotten, and rediscovered across centuries of crises. And if you don't know them, you'll always wonder why the system feels rigged against you. Today, we'll uncover the forgotten laws of money, from debased coins in ancient Rome to the digital tricks of central banks today. And you'll see why the game was never fair in the first place. Let's start with the most basic and brutal rule, Gresham's Law. In the 1500s, Sir Thomas Gresham explained it to Queen Elizabeth I. Bad money drives out good. The principle is simple. If two kinds of currency circulate at the same time, one trusted, one debased, people will spend the bad money and hoard the good. Take Rome, for example. When the silver denarius was gradually diluted with base metals, citizens weren't fools. They paid their taxes and debts with the new junk coins and hid away the older, purer silver. The same pattern appeared in medieval Europe when kings clipped coins or replaced gold with copper. The lesson? If rulers try to cheat by debasing money, people adapt. They spend the fake and hoard the real. And once that cycle begins, trust in money unravels. But there's a second law, almost like the evil twin of the first, Thiers' Law. Named after Adolphe Thiers in 19th century France, it says that in moments of true collapse, the logic flips. In a crisis, good money drives out bad. Imagine Weimar Germany in the 1920s. Prices doubled every few days. Wheelbarrows of banknotes bought loaves of bread. In that environment, no one wanted to hold marks for a second longer than necessary. People fled into dollars, gold, cigarettes, or barter, anything with real value. The same happened in Zimbabwe, in Venezuela, and countless hyperinflations. Thiers' Law is the moment when the system breaks and people abandon the state's promises altogether. Gresham describes the slow decay of money. Thiers describes its sudden death. So what happens in the gray area between slow decay and total collapse? That's where the Cantillon effect comes in, a law that exposes why inflation always feels unfair. Richard Cantillon, an Irish-French economist in the early 18th century, noticed something. When new money enters the economy, it doesn't touch everyone equally. Those closest to the source, the government, the banks, the elites, spend it first. By the time it trickles down to workers and savers, prices have already risen. The early recipients buy assets and goods at yesterday's prices. The late recipients get stuck paying tomorrow's. The Cantillon effect explains why money printing enriches Wall Street but punishes Main Street. Why quantitative easing after the 2008 crash boosted stock markets but left wages stagnant. Why stimulus checks vanished into higher grocery bills and housing costs. Inflation isn't just a number, it's a wealth transfer. And you're not on the winning side. The cruelty is that it's designed that way. The system funnels benefits upward while disguising the cost as rising prices. Ordinary people feel robbed but can't see the thief. The Cantillon effect is the hidden rigging of the modern financial system, and it's been operating since the very first coins were struck. The rich don't just earn more, they literally receive money differently. If the Cantillon effect explains why new money flows uphill, then financial repression explains how governments make sure you can never climb out. The term was coined after World War II, when nations faced mountains of debt and had no easy way to pay it back. Raising taxes would spark revolt. Defaulting would destroy credibility. So they found another method, trap citizens inside the system and quietly drain their wealth. Here's how it worked. Central banks kept interest rates artificially low, often below inflation. That meant your savings account was guaranteed to lose value every year in real terms. At the same time, capital controls limited your ability to move money abroad or buy alternative assets. Citizens were stuck earning negative returns while governments inflated away their debts. It was a silent form of taxation, invisible on the surface, but devastating over time. Fast forward to today, and you'll see the same playbook. After the 2008 financial crash, interest rates fell to near zero for over a decade. Savers lost trillions in real wealth, while asset prices soared for those who already owned stocks and real estate. From 2020 to 2021, rates collapsed again, and ordinary people watched their savings erode as housing and food prices spiked. This wasn't an accident. It was financial repression updated for the 21st century.
Your business is crushing it. But unless they've got the right help desk software.
Oh man, the tickets just won't stop.
And the beauty of it, from the government's perspective, is that most citizens never even realized it was happening. They just felt poorer without understanding why.
See, now, if you understand the cycle of all of these principles, you can be wealthy as shit.
But these laws don't just apply at the personal level. Some operate on the scale of entire empires. Which brings us to Triffin's paradox, the reserve currency trap. In the 1960s, Belgian-American economist Robert Triffin testified before the U.S. Congress, warning about a flaw at the heart of the Bretton Woods system. If the U.S. dollar was the world's reserve currency, then America would need to supply enough dollars to finance global trade. That meant running trade deficits, spending more abroad than it earned, so the rest of the world could get the liquidity it needed. In the short term, this...
You hear that? To be the world reserve, we had to run a deficit of 37 trillion. We have to, according to this theory of economics.
Worked. The world trusted the dollar and global commerce expanded, but in the long term, it guaranteed instability. The more dollars America pushed abroad, the weaker the link to gold became, and the more fragile trust in the system grew. Triffin's warning came true in 1971, when Richard Nixon ended the gold standard and turned the dollar into pure fiat money. Since then, the U.S. has run chronic trade deficits, exporting dollars in exchange for goods made elsewhere. Factories left, debt piled up, but the dollar's dominance kept the game alive. The paradox is brutal. To remain the world's reserve currency, the U.S. must sacrifice the health of its own economy. It's a law of money that guarantees decay. You can see the consequences all around us. America consumes more than it produces.
And that's why I believe, well, I know for a fact why I ran for president, because I saw the cycles. Trump sees the cycles, and he's changing us away from this economy of a world reserve finance, debt-driven, blah, 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 and it's changing into a new economy.
Financed by endless borrowing. The dollar's dominance props up Wall Street, but hollows out Main Street. And now challengers are circling. China, Russia, and the BRICS bloc are experimenting with alternatives. Central banks are stockpiling gold at the fastest pace in half a century. The reserve system that gave the U.S. unmatched power for decades now carries the seeds of its own decline. That's the Triffin paradox. The reserve currency is both the crown and the curse. If Triffin's paradox shows how the global system is trapped, then Goodhart's law explains why every attempt to manage it makes things worse. In the 1970s, economist Charles Goodhart observed something simple but devastating. When a measure becomes a target, it ceases to be a good measure. Governments and central banks love numbers. Inflation at 2%, unemployment at 5%, GDP growth at 3%. These metrics are supposed to describe reality. But once politicians decide to hit them at all costs, they distort the system itself. Take inflation targeting. For decades, central banks promised to keep inflation at around 2%. Sounds reasonable. Sounds. But to hit that target, they manipulated interest rates, injected liquidity, and fueled asset bubbles. Inflation stayed low on paper, but housing costs, healthcare, and education soared far faster. The official numbers said stability. Real life screamed instability. Or take GDP. Politicians worship it as the measure of national progress. But once growth itself became the goal, governments piled on debt, outsourced industries, and inflated bubbles just to keep the number moving up.
Hey everyone, today I'm breaking down the top 5
Oh my gosh,
daughters of the
break
year
it
and why the
down.
number one
Break
pick.
it on down.
The result is the illusion of prosperity with the reality of fragility. Goodhart's law reveals the trap. When you manage the numbers, you stop measuring the truth. And finally, the last law in our journey, the law of diminishing returns on debt. It's not ancient or elegant, but it's the brutal arithmetic of our age. In the early stages of growth, debt fuels expansion. Borrow $1, get $1 of GDP growth, maybe more. But over time, as debt piles higher, the return falls. $1 of new debt might buy only 50 cents of growth, then 25, then less. Eventually, debt keeps climbing, but growth stalls. The machine doesn't accelerate anymore. It just groans under the weight. We are living in that stage now. The U.S. debt is over $30 trillion. Each new borrowing binge produces less real wealth. Instead, it props up financial markets, funds entitlements, and keeps the illusion going. But the math doesn't lie. Debt saturation is the end game every empire reaches. The Romans debased coins when expansion slowed. The French monarchy borrowed itself into collapse before 1789. Britain's empire strained under debts after 2 world wars. And now America faces the same reckoning. The law is merciless. Borrowing buys time, not escape. So what do these laws teach us when we step back? That money isn't magic. It's governed by rules as hard as gravity. Bad money pushes out good until collapse. Crises force people to flee into sound assets. New money enriches the few before it reaches the many. Governments repress citizens to quietly erase debts. Reserve currencies hollow themselves out. Targets warp the truth. And debt, in the end, consumes itself.
Does this sound like real life happening around us that he's talking about? And all he's talking about is the progression of the different economic laws that anyone could follow if you look at it, and you could prosper big time.
Forgotten laws of money are not academic curiosities. They are survival codes. They explain why inflation robs savers, why wages never keep up, why your mortgage feels heavier while Wall Street hits new highs, why nations rise on trust and fall on debt. These aren't random events. They are the rhythm of financial history. And here's the hardest truth. The game was never designed for you to win. Ordinary citizens live under transparency. Elites live under secrecy. You file taxes. They shift assets. You earn wages. They receive money first. You hold cash that loses value. They hold assets that rise. The system obeys its own laws. And unless you learn them, you will always play blind. History doesn't repeat, but money obeys laws. And if you don't understand them, it will crush you all the same. If this gave you a new perspective, hit subscribe.
Okay. Professor Neil stepping in here. All right, here's the deal. Europe used our money. EU. We supported the EU with like 5%, double and a half what we were supposed to, because the other countries didn't put in for Europe's defense. They built us up as the police of the world. Then they used $330 million of our tax-paying money that we paid them for defense, and they took it and they spent it to send 630,000 illegal aliens through our southern border. Trump mentioned this in his UN speech and looked directly at them as he said that. What that is that's a declaration of war. The only reason we're not at war right now, that video I just showed you, how to get out of it and not become Rome, is force the rest of the world to do right by you, because they actually declared war. And instead of us, America, declaring war on them and taking over Europe for their invasion of our country of over 600,000 illegal immigrants, which totally screwed up our economy and our politics, instead of going to war, Trump held them to a 17% tariff that they graciously accepted because they didn't want to go to war. That did not make the news, but it's out there. And if you put it together, it's all true. It was stated so by the president himself in not so many words. So that is why America has 15 trillion, almost half of our debt worth of confirmed investments in the American economy to grow us, to get us out of this conundrum we are in. We had two options, and these are historically accurate too. And this is why I say America is great, because America never takes the war option. Our past 80, 90 years, we've been run by the United Nations as a police state for the world. They were not wars by America. No one seems to differentiate that, but it's a very important differentiation to make. Another one is the only war we fought was in 1991. Oddly enough, the only time I went to war was that war. They recalled me. That's how I know all this stuff, because you can't be recalled except for in time of war. And draft is the same thing. It was illegal in Vietnam, but they did it anyhow because the citizens didn't know better. We were controlled by the imperialist elites, for which Trump is crushing right now, and we are getting our financial freedom back. So America's not going to follow the road of Rome, because instead of going to war, we chose bribery. They went to war against us. They invaded us using our money to fund 630,000 illegal aliens to come up through our southern border. So instead of deciding to go to war with them, we decided to hold them hostage and say, you're going to invest money in us. You're going to pay off our debt by taking a 17% tariff on everything. You're going to start accepting our goods. Hold on, we don't make any goods? Give us money so we can get in manufacturing, so we can start making goods to sell you. Oh, there's the $15 trillion worth of new investment into America. I just explained to you how America is going to be great for the next 300 years at least, stumping the history of the Roman Empire and the collapse of nations. God blessed America. We're not that stupid. I've said it before. America is the only nation in the history of humanity to rebuild the nations it conquered in war. So why would we follow Rome if we've never followed Rome? Hey, Chad, sorry if it takes so long to say hi to you, brother. I was in the middle of a rant right there, trying to wake people up to the fact that America is not collapsing. America was attacked over the past 4 years by the United Nations, China, and a whole bunch of other countries. And instead of going to war, we're taking their money. Yeah, we suffered. We paid the price. And that's where the golden age of America, as the president said, is coming. That's where electric prices are going to drop by 70, or energy prices are going to drop by 70% by 2030. That's why America is going to start manufacturing again. That's why America is going to be great. It doesn't matter if he can. He is not the important factor. The important factor is it was destined to happen. Why do you think I ran for president for 45 terms? Because I saw this coming. It's preordained. America will stay America, the greatest nation on the planet, because we were created, inspired by God. America was blessed by God, not England, not China, not Russia, only America. Yeah, the past 80 years, we have not been America, 90 years or so, thereabouts, maybe 100, a little more. But because we've been controlled financially, our financial system has been controlled. That's why they're getting kicked out right now. And we're going to salvage that financial system by making them pay. And they are paying $15 trillion worth of new investments in America over the next several years. We're going to let the pain come, as who is it said that, Mo? It wasn't Mo. Let's see. Who said that? It was Hager. Hager said it. Yes, you are correct. There will be serious churn, and there will be many that suffer. But then again, you play stupid games, win stupid prizes. If you had a reverse mortgage because your kids didn't want to take care of you, well, whose fault is it they're not getting an inheritance? Yours or theirs? Both of yours. So yeah, there's going to be some pain. That was a bad example. But, we helped get unwillingly, unbeknownst to us, we helped push ourselves into this trap. And there is an exit stage right, and we're taking it. It's going to be painful, yes. It's amazing that that's happening, Haggard. I also knew that was going to happen, because that's what happens when you stray from the path. Oh, well, thank you very much, Haggard. I appreciate that. I thought it was kind of corny after I said it, but it was only, after you say it. You can't shove words back in your mouth after you stick your foot in it. You know what I'm saying? Kind of makes the words hard to get past that foot you stuck in your mouth. But yeah, America's going to be great, guys. Never give up on America. Never give up on your neighbors. Never give up on your citizens. There are a-holes out there. Amen to that one. Yes, there are. There's a lot of people that are swayed by other than good out there. God love them. They're going to get in your way. Recognize them. Stay away from them. How do you do that? Be kind, helpful, and grateful. They'll point themselves out to you. Assholes always do, especially if you're kind, helpful, and grateful. They kind of stand out in the crowd. If you put the veil of kindness, helpfulness, and gratefulness around you, you can easily see who's out there to harm you and not. So that's one way to put up a shield against stuff. Another way is get to know your neighbors, get to know who's supposed to be around you, get to know everything about everything around you, and then do what you can to make it right. Because you can only do what you can do while you're there. So while you're there, make it right. How do you know what to do? Get to know what's going on in your neighborhood. It took me I moved here 2022. So it took me 23 years to get to where I'm at in this neighborhood. I fought the city council. I spent 3 years of my time getting all the evidence and pictures needed to force this community and this town to accept a problem property ordinance so that good people could actually take care of problems and not have to wait for the cops to handle it. I helped start with the ex-chief of police, God rest his soul, he's now dead, and one of our ex-mayors before he was mayor. I helped bring, Network Neighborhood Watch and the Neighborhood Watch system to this town. I've tried to make lots of changes because I know that it's going to happen eventually. And as I've stated on several occasions, I wake up every morning and all I see is a flat body of water, or no ripples or anything. And I have a positivity stone and I have a negativity stone. Whichever stone I throw in that water, I will receive the ripples of the effect of that. If I throw the negative stone, I'm going to have a bad day. If I throw the positive stone, I might have a bad day, but it's not as bad as it could have been, because positivity breeds positivity. And I have been positive for 30 years that America's going to be great. And it's going to be great, because I I've never been born again as a Christian because I never walked away from Christ. So how can you be born again? And born again means you walked away and came back. I never have. So I've always seen things that people who are born again haven't seen. And my faith has never been worried or swayed or anything, knowing that God blessed America. And that's why I say God bless America and everyone here, because it's true. And you can him all you want about truth, but it doesn't make it less true. And that's how I can have a clearer image of what's happening around America, because I'm allowed to see what's going on in America, because I have the vision from a perspective of one that is truthful and honest, in my opinion, and that is a godly version of America for which he wanted. And the only thing going to stop that is if we don't want it. But I've always wanted it, so it will happen. And America will be great. What's up, Zardos and Mike? America will be great, and good times are coming. There's a V-shaped recovery baked in. And when I say baked in, the last depression in 1929 when the bottom fell out, research it. You Google it right now. Did America get $5 trillion worth of new investments during that time period to stop it from happening? And the answer will be no. And the bad things happen. Well, the same thing's happening now, except we are at the end of the global reserve currency economic thing, where the imperialist elites who set it up for us to be the world reserve currency, knowing the end game, because that video I showed you, it laid it out step by step how it works. And then they knew it. They set it up in 1913 with the income tax funding the Federal Reserve, two illegal things that have been with us our whole lifetimes. Those are going to end. And when that ends, the imperialistic control of our financial system ends, which means that video I showed you of all those economics playing out till the end game. Well, the reason why he didn't tell you what happens after a country loses its world reserve currency, he doesn't know, because it's never happened before. That's the only part of economics that's never happened before. We've never had a world reserve currency, because until modern times, the whole world didn't know about itself. 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, they didn't know America was here, much less did trade with it. So the whole world has changed. And that's why America is blessed by God. If you look at the Bible, you can see America's not mentioned at all. There are some symbolisms that theologians believe refer to America as the eagle in Revelations. But other than that, there is no mention of America. Other than, maybe the mysterious Babylon. Some scholars believe that would be America, but it's never mentioned. They mention Israel. They mention other countries by name. They never mention America, because we were not part of the world when that happened. And that is why we are blessed by God. That's the whole creation of America was divine for freedoms of individuals persecuted from other nations to come together and create a nation of average everyday people. Yeah, okay, the dream got taken. You know why? Complacency. Who do you vote for? Well, it's your fault. You voted for him instead of being the one to vote for. Duh. That's why I ran for office. I saw this. To make change, become the change you want to see. You vote for someone else, you vote for their change, not yours. I've been fighting the good fight, trying to bring change, telling people to go run for office. So what can I do? As I've always said in all my videos for the past 3.5 years, all you got to do is look back at my videos. I put my money where my mouth is. I say buy silver, platinum, crystallized ozone. I do. I also sell it because I say be your own bank. I also invest in everything I tell you guys to invest in. Not much, because I don't have much. So the returns really aren't that great. If you only invest $5 in something at 1,000X's, that's not a lot of money. So, I do everything I say I'm going to do. I see what's going to happen, and I try and bring it out in my videos. I'm not real good at explaining things, I guess, but I know what's going to happen. Oh, Haggard, that's a good question. I think the dollar is dead because they have a choice between kill the dollar or kill the economy, and they're going to kill the dollar because the dollar was designed to die. If you understand the dollar was designed to die, all of this makes sense. If you look at it from an outwardly country controlling our economics, wanting us to die to increase their economics, if you look at it from that perspective, then you'll see what's happened to America, because our finances have been controlled by imperialistic elites. Yes, Mo, they were for the world that they knew. It wasn't a true world. Greece did not know about Japan or China. Rome did not know about, well, they might have known about China, but they didn't know about America. And Britain, yeah, World War I and II kind of fucked that one up for them. And again, we're not going to have a world war caused by economics. We got another way out, and that's called extortion. Instead of going to war, we're extorting them all for money, investments in America. Again, never done in history before, just like America rebuilding and using. And as I explained in that video I just showed at the end of the videos that I showed, the guy stated how you rebuild the countries and you allow your country to be used so other countries can rebuild. That puts you in a consumer nation. Well, that's what we've been for 50 years, a consumer nation. We've been allowing other countries to rebuild off of us. It's all scheduled and planned. How's these things happen? Oh, they just, everyone wakes up one morning and, oh, it happens. Okay, that's interesting perspective. A more realistic perspective is whoever they are that create things and make things happen in this world that you and I don't, they decided a long time ago that America is an experiment to be kept separate from all of the rest of the world's governments because they didn't want us to be like everyone else. They wanted a safe haven to escape the bullshit of their countries. So all of them allowed America, by the grace of God, to be created. Were we taken over by booty bandits running as Americans for office? Yeah. How did they get in office? We, through complacency, believed their bullshit and didn't do enough of our own research and get involved, and we voted them in. And through complacency and them dribbling off a little bit of fucking technology to us to make our lives easier, we decided not to pay attention to who's running our country. So yeah, our enemies sent people in here to do it for us. Hell, I'd have done that too. So let's get off our asses and run our own country and get these people out. And it's happening. You don't have to do anything. There are those of us out there doing it for you. We would appreciate some help though. Be an American, stand up and help. Be kind, helpful, and grateful. Stop bad things from happening within your area of stopping them without putting yourself in harm's way. Document it if you can. Make phone calls to the cops. Testify. Do the right thing. Everyone knows when you're doing the right thing and not the right thing. You can explain it out to anyone in any way you want. You know inside your heart if you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing. Follow that. That's your inner light. That's God talking to you. Don't ignore him. And if 10 million of us did that, it would affect 100 million, which is 1/3 of this nation. Zardos, I'm running. I ran in 2012, 16, 20, 2024. And I'm going to run again in 2028. And it's not that I know how to do it. I just know what's going to happen. Because it's already pre-planned. And actually, the President Trump actually said as much in some of his speeches, if you know how to listen and read between the lines. He was able to get the Olympics rescheduled to be in America during his presidency instead of Biden's presidency. That's a pretty interesting tell. That means there's things that are planned. People can do things. They can change things up. You can tweak the system, but the system's still going to roll. That's why I don't like giving exacts, but I do know things are going to happen. I know the price of platinum manipulation is going to break. How do I know this? I'm looking at what's happening around the world, and I'm seeing who controls the price of platinum. I'm seeing new things happening in platinum, new discoveries outside of the control of the BRICS nations, because the BRICS nations control 85% of the platinum market. So yeah, why wouldn't they manipulate it? That fucks up our economy. Why wouldn't they do that? There are economic enemies. I mean, things are easy to see. I had 12 people vote for me last time. Sorry, I had to get some milk in my tea. But in all seriousness, I probably wouldn't accept it if I did win, because I've got things I want to do in my own life and companies I want to start and money I want to make, and I don't want to make it off the American people. I want to make it by creating new market caps, innovation, and new advancements. And that's how I want to increase the economy. Through technological innovation and looking at old shit and saying, damn, that's old. Can't we do better? And coming up with something better. The oldest tried and true way to become rich. You know, Velcro was created in the 1950s, wasn't used until the 1980s. That guy lost the patent. It sat on a shelf of unpatented stuff that used to be patented. Someone came along one day and looked at it and said, ooh, I know what I could use this for. 30 years after it was patented the first time, it had a use case. That guy made it rich. Yeah, I know. That's why I kind of sort of don't want I don't want the job. I'd explain to everyone how it's all, how you could see what's going to happen without someone telling you what's going to happen. And yeah, they'd probably kill me because the Secret Service, or no one would want me in there because, yeah, I do tell the truth. And as I tell other people who don't believe me, why would I care enough to lie to you? Lying takes a lot of energy and effort. Then I have to remember it. I got to remember who I told the lie to so I don't look like a jerk. I'm too lazy for that shit. I don't care to lie to anybody. It's too hard work. That's why I've been keeping my mouth shut on this topic for a little bit longer than most other people, because of that reason. That reason right there. Because I don't want to be a target. I want to be an employer. And I already got things going. I mean, I got a job. Hopefully I'll be able to keep this job for more than 2 freaking weeks. And if I can, that means I'll be able to not only catch up, but get ahead and get some stuff going that I need to get going, because I truly have some world-changing innovations coming in the jewelry field that it should blow people away. It blows me away anyhow, but I'm biased. It's my creation, so of course it would blow me away. But it's never been done before, so it's going to be new shit. And if it takes off, I'll be able to employ people to work it. And trust me, I'm not looking to make people poor. I would like to be able to say, yeah, I'll hire you to do this, and I'll pay you enough to take care of your household where your wife can stay home and educate your kids, and you can have a good family. And I take a lower profit off my end because I don't care. I don't have kids. I don't have a wife. My America, I'll be dead in 30 years, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm working steel again at 57. I had plans, man, 5 years ago. I was supposed to have started my company right about now. I should have about $50 or $60 million in contracts, which I get 10% of as profit margin, making me $5 to $6 million. That was the goal till COVID. I had a cool company name too. I actually had the ladies down at the state office making bets on if this name here. Oh shit, I didn't type it in. Hold on a second. That name. That was the name of my company, and I had ladies down at the in Sacramento at the business agency that gives out names. They had running bets saying, "No, that you ain't gonna get that name. They're not gonna approve it," and they approved it. And so I called it Han Solo Ironworks. And then COVID hit, and well, there were so many extra rules and regulations thrown at it that you had to have extra money to comply with that I didn't have. And well, I was unable to make any bids, so my company went to hell. Ooh, you have one of those special white suits with that special hat and headgear to keep you from getting burned up. Titanium, that's at like 3,100 degrees at melting point. That's up there with platinum. Platinum's the only thing that burns that melts higher than titanium by like 200 degrees. Oh, right on. You probably used some oh, what the heck? There's a platinum group metal they use at the tips of the turbines to help the structural first impact of the spinning of the turbines, and I don't recall what the metal is that they use. Maybe you do, Haggard, do you know? On, like, I think airplane turbines and like rocket turbines, I believe there's a special platinum groups metal that's coated on the tip of each of the turbine blades to protect it from damage, which of course protects the whole blade at that point in time. Well, theoretically. Definitely protects it from a direct frontal impact on the blade, but you know, that is why, Haggard, that, you know what you just described right there? Melting under a vacuum. You know what the moon has? A vacuum. If you did smelting on the moon, you would save so much money because you wouldn't have to create that vacuum. Oh, it was platinum they put on? Yeah, okay. I thought it was an alloy of platinum because they didn't want to spend the money, but yeah. Kind of sort of knew it was platinum. Platinum group metal. I didn't think they actually used the platinum because I don't study the industries, but I knew that a lot of platinum groups metals went to that industry. Okay, so it was coated. Okay. Yeah, platinum's got how far away from a catalytic converter is that use case? Now look at what Elon Musk is doing and ask yourself how much more platinum is needed now more than ever. Now ask yourself, how many years have we had a platinum deficit of mining to supply and purchasing? Oh, 3? Holy shit. A titanium alloy. Okay. With no platinum. There are man, I'm gonna have to Google it now. Let's see, how would I state this question? Let's see here. Yes, platinum is used in turbine blades, but not as a specific structural metal. Instead, it's applied as a platinum-modified aluminide coating to a super alloy base. This coating significantly enhances the blade's service by providing superior resistance to high temperature. Here, I'm going to copy and paste this. There's no reason for you guys to read it, to hear me read it. But yes, I knew platinum was used in turbines. There we go. Boom. Oh, break it down 2 or 3 fucking posts, but there you go. Platinum is used in the turbines. It's a coating they put on top of it, probably after the point where you turned it over to someone else. Yeah, it's new, Haggard. There's a lot of new platinum. That's why I'm into platinum, bro. There's a lot of new things. As it says there, yes, platinum is used in turbine blades, not as a primary structural material. Instead, it is applied. New technology. That's why I love platinum, baby. And gold. The reason why I say don't buy gold. New technology. 3, 4, 5 years old technologies, baby. Hold on. How long's the platinum deficit been going? Oh, 3 years. New technology. Eating that shit up. No one's talking about it. Oh, they're all used for catalytic converters. Woo! Fred Flintstone, speak up again, please. Oh, hell, Haggard, I put up fucking 19 320-foot wind generators since then. I had a truck. I was on the back of the truck when it got lifted up by one of the blades when the wind hit it as we were erecting it. That was a fun experience. It was a big six-wheeled truck, one of those big fuckers. We had a driver. I was in the back holding the rope around a special device they had, using the truck as a counterweight so that the wind wouldn't blow the turbine blade into the structure as we were erecting it. And they told me not to give any, slack unless told so. And I had a radio. Wind picked up, lifted the whole back end of that truck, and the line I was holding, I had it wrapped around like a steel pig's tail, and it was ran around that. So I easily was able to hold the weight of the truck as it lifted up off the ground. The back 4 tires lifted up on the ground. The front tires were the only thing touching. And it's the one blade of this windmill is a 180-foot long blade, like 35-foot wide in the center. Started pulling that truck in that position. And then I heard over the radio, Neil, release the rope. So I released the rope and the truck fucking hit the ground and I got thrown off the truck. So I recall all of those 19 320-foot windmills. That was a fun experience. Oh, it was great. Man, I've had hella fun. I've done some crazy shit in my lifetime, bro. Bull riders ain't got nothing on me. I rode a Dodge 350, baby. Woo, woo, woo. Going backwards inverted. Yeah. Bull riders. Shh, you're only on it for 6 seconds. I was on it for 13. And no, there was no roads. The front 2 tires were bouncing. Actually, they were making tire marks into the field. we got in trouble for that. We had to bring the grade all out and flatten the field. But, there was a lot of things we had to do extra. Hell, on that same job on the other side of the highway, we were having to tear down because we had to tear down like 1,575 footers. That's where I use that picture every now and then. Let me see if I can get it up. That's that picture of. Do I have it saved? Let's see, visual effects. Let's see if I can find it real fast. It's that one picture of me on the windmill. That's when we were disassembling well, I got 2 pictures. One of I was on a 150-foot windmill out in the blade, and the other one I was on a 75-foot windmill out on outside. Well, actually out on the blade as well, hanging free fall. It was kind of fun. That's why I got pictures, because no one would believe it. I'm looking for the pictures now if you're wondering what the hell I'm talking about. I got pictures to prove the shit. Like I said, I don't lie. I got pictures to back up my shit. Whether or not I can find the picture, well, I'm not computer savvy. Which one? The one where I was straddling it at 150 foot, or the one where I was standing on the blade, wrenching on the one we were taking off? Come on, find the picture, Neil. I like them too. Actually, those are illegal pictures. I signed a contract stating that they would fire me if I took pictures on the job, because the way they had to build the 320 footers was they used a double crane lift, and then one crane slacked off the lift as it was going up in the air, and supposedly it was a revolutionary new way to erect the tall windmills. So they made us sign something saying we wouldn't have to take pictures. Okay, so that's a 75-footer. I'm looking for the 75-footer. And lo and behold, I can't find either one of them right now. I'm flipping through my pictures. I just used it as a thumbnail too. It's got to be in my saved pictures somewhere. Oh, here's another one. I'm only going to show the bottom to let you guys know. Obviously, you'll be able to tell I don't have a harness on or anything. That's 12 floors up. And yeah, I was freestanding on a beam, a 30-foot beam, 12 floors up. And let's get back to pictures here. Find that one. Dang nabbit. I also have another picture of just my feet, 500 foot up. Well, 480 foot. It was on the 48th floor of the 57th story. I stood on the edge of the building with my toes off the iron, similar to that. And I took a picture going, oh, here we go. That one. That's the one you like. Yeah. Actually, I stand corrected. I was actually dismantling the blade I was on, and someone had to get to the outside because those bolts hadn't been unspun in 25 years, and well, a lot of dew, and well, 25 years. Someone had to get out there with a 6-foot long pry bar or a helper or cheater bar and yank outwardly away from the windmill, and I was like, I'll do it. And I tied off to the blade, as you can see. Actually, no. If you look underneath my left leg, which would be the right side of the picture, there's 2 clasps there. That's my safety hang. So I wasn't tied off at all. Actually, they could fire me from that picture if it wasn't 20 years old. And the guy to the left, my boss, I got a great story about that. After we were doing this, there was a connection box that we had to get a trailer up on top of the mountain, and I was on the Great All. I loaded it up on the trailer, and it was an S path road going down, but it was dirt, and it had sharp S turns, and he had like 20,000 pounds on this trailer. He had the Dodge 350 dually. The rest of the crew was in it, and I told him, I said, hey man, do you want me to hook up a line to the back of this so you don't lose it? He's like, man, we ain't gonna be going but 3 miles per hour. How can we lose it? I was like, all right. We start going down. He barely makes the first S curve. He starts going down and he slows down to make the second S curve. The trailer decided not to slow down. Trailer decided to jackknife and almost take that whole truck off the freaking road had I not been down there to pin the freaking thing down with the forks of the Great All. Everyone got fired except for me and the boss on that one. And yes, I used the Great All forks as a javelin, and I pierced the freaking trailer because it was like 2 by 10s, I think, as the base, and I actually punctured through that and stabbed in the ground to stop the back end of that trailer from going off the edge of that mountain. Oh, the other picture's better. Let me see if I can't find that other picture. That's only 75-foot free fall. Let's see if I got this other picture here. I know I do. I just saw it. Let me get rid of that one. It's coming up. And the same apprentice in that picture, he wasn't the same apprentice in the other picture because I had a hard time getting an apprentice to work at 150-foot towers with me. Because they were bigger blades, and we had to do the same thing, stand on the outside to break the bolts. The only problem was we hooked up the top blade going upward is the one that's connected to the crane, so it lifted it straight up. So when it did lift it straight up, we had a lock on it to where it shouldn't swivel, but every now and then the lock broke loose and we would be on that sumbitch and it starts swiveling on us. And let me tell you what, you want a roller coaster ride? Woo, baby, that's one hell of a freaking roller coaster ride, especially when there ain't no seat belts. What's up, Pete? Oh, I've had God has blessed me with a great life, man. I have so many stories, very few pictures, but the pictures I do have tell you that the stories I tell pretty much might be true. Yeah, that's 150-foot straight free fall from underneath where my feet are. But personally, I like bacon-covered apples. So we'll look at bacon-covered apple. That's both a fruit and a meat that I know Pete doesn't do. So let me change this up. Sorry about that, Pete. He's not Islamic. He just doesn't do pork. It's a Christian thing also, believe it or not. So we'll do cake because everybody eats cake. I'm trying to be non-offensive to people's personal perspectives if I know them. And I'm sure the ladies out there don't like seeing that because there's weight issues. But by God, there's only one cake there I wouldn't eat, and that's the one to the far right because it looks like a German upside down cake that has coconut in it, and I don't like coconut. But those two chocolate ones, second and third from the right, and the velvet and the vanilla on the left, I'd devour all 4 or 5 of those. That 6th one, I can't do coconut. Right on. Well, I know in the Bible it does say that we should watch out for pork and other things, and then in the New Testament comes around and says we don't have to, but we still should bleed. And also, there's still food rituals of a type in Christianity. No one hardly respects them, but there are. Well, since it's strictly a health thing, Pete, I'm salivating at the lips for some bacon and some apple. I'm going to throw that picture back up. Oh, nope, not that one. That's a chocolate chip waffle. I'm sure no one's offended by that either. Chocolate chip waffles are pretty good. No one could be offended by cake, my friend. If they are, then they need to hop back on their spaceship and go to the planet they came from. Those just look like good appetizers, man. Sweet. Oh, God. Bacon. Well, bacon wrapped lobster is good, too. That picture is a bacon wrapped apple. It's freaking, the taste in the mouth. The textures, everything. That's a good food right there. Yeah. It's a culinary heaven. Huckleberry cheesecake. I don't know if I have a picture of that stuff. Let's see. I actually don't have any picture of any cheesecake. What I do have is lightning. No thunder, just lightning. I'm going to get rid of these other 2 pictures here. Sorry about that. Actually, I'm not. I'm hungry too. It happens. Let's see if I can't get a better picture, make us even more hungry. More hungry than less hungry. Ooh, doggy. Here we go. I like that one. You know, Pete, that is interesting. Off the top of my head, I have not done any research on thunder. But now you have intrigued me because I've done so lightning. I was had the blinder on, focused only on the lightning research because of the level of safety needed, I believe, to actually interact with lightning. I never paid attention to thunder. So, but that is very intriguing. That sounds intriguing as well. It's Greek beef. Lamb, possibly? Only because I know you. All right. You guys want to see? This is going to be horrible, but it's also very funny. And I am a Christian, but I enjoy funny. So we're going to show this one. I'm going to show this one. You guys can leave if you don't like it. This is a Babylon Bee. Obviously, they're well known. Satan asked Democrats to tone down all the evil. This is hilarious.
You're all doing some wonderful work destroying the world. but I think it's probably time for us to reevaluate.
Yeah, sorry for the interruption, but I think we're in the wrong meeting. We're not here to destroy the world. We're here to save it. You see, we are some of the leading leaders of liberal causes, and I'm with the Human Rights Campaign, who focus on LGBTQ+ and trans rights. You see, I have an equal sign to let you know that I'm a good person.
Oh, excuse me, women's reproductive rights.
Climate.
Free Palestine. Open borders. I misspoke before. You guys are not destroying the world, okay? You are saving the world.
Hey, whoa, what's up with those scare quotes?
Pretty sure I didn't use scare quotes when I said saving the world. The important thing to keep in mind is that there's a big election coming up, and you and I, we're all on the same page, okay? So if we want Biden to win, he needs to win in order for us to save the world. If we want Biden to win, you folks, how can I say this? You might need to tone it down. Just
Tone down what?
Oh, that's a good question. You're women's reproductive rights, right? Okay. Excellent branding, by the way. It's much easier on the ears than baby murder. So kudos to you on that one. But opposing any restrictions all the way through to the 9th month, I mean, you see how you're kind of tipping your hand, right? Makes people think, wait, maybe they actually want to kill babies. And we do, obviously.
No, we don't.
Oh.
No, we don't.
We don't. Right. We don't. But you see how it can kind of look that way. So that's all I'm saying. Let's tone it down. And you, immigration, clearly we don't want a completely open border that undermines any sense of national sovereignty, driving down wages for the working class and overtaxing the welfare state. So let's go a bit easy there too. I mean, why not something like this? Why not something like diversity is
Are you trying to say diversity is our strength?
Yes. How do you say that without laughing? Oh my gosh. I can't even get through it. This is sad. My sides. My goodness. Okay, what about you? Pro-Palestine. You are, I'm going to say this. You're kind of coming across like you just want to wipe Israel off the map and kill all the Jews.
We do want to wipe Israel off the map and kill all the Jews.
Of course, yes. And that's awesome. I'm all for that. I love that. But you need to pretend like you don't want to wipe Israel off the map and kill all the Jews.
Why?
Excuse me?
I mean, we're pretty clear in our position, and most young people and everyone on college campuses, and half the Democratic Party, of course, still support us.
Yeah, it's cool now.
You may have a point there. You might be the only person in here that can be as evil as you want to be and get away with it. All right, still, let's think about tactics. Okay, do you think that occupying bridges and blocking traffic is somehow winning people over to your cause?
Yeah, and making people hate us by blocking traffic is our thing. He's stealing our thing.
You're not stealing your thing. You must die. We will kill you all.
See, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, okay, I love the homicidal thing that you got going on there. I really dig it, okay? But maybe market it just a little bit differently. Like the serial killer that everyone thinks is such a sweet guy, He's got 27 bodies in the basement, but he's like, coaching Little League. That's what I want. Be that guy.
Death to America.
The funny thing is, you don't even look Middle Eastern. Am I wrong, people? Am I wrong?
I'm not. I actually grew up on Long Island, but my parents sent me to college. Death to America.
HRC guy, you have been going over the top as well.
Well, it's important for us, they, them, to be accepted just like everyone else.
Yes, of course. And convincing people that they're intolerant for not wanting men to get naked in women's locker rooms. I guess that's genius. I mean, come on, it's next level stuff. All right, but insisting that your children be mutilated. I mean, come on, it's turning people off, you guys. I mean, not everyone, obviously, but until the election, can we just all pretend for a few months not to be crazed, lunatic, homicidal extremists?
No, it's my body, Donald J. Trump.
You will obey me.
Sorry. Glad we're all on the same page, though. So, how do you do it? When I do evil stuff, it seems like nobody likes me. When you do it, everyone finds you sympathetic.
Well, see, my people are oppressed victims. so we can rape, murder, and call for genocide, and it's pretty much totally justified.
Well done, Ahmed. Well done.
Hey, you! Are you enjoying these videos? The Navy.
Sorry guys, I had to show that one. Yeah, that was the end all for the day. The best video I had was the one before that, but that one was hilarious as hell. But the one about economics, if you haven't seen it, go back and just watch that one on economics. It explains out exactly what's going to happen except for the end game. For the end game, what you got to do is you got to look at what's going on and what's been said, what Trump said to the UN, what the UN did with accepting of 17% tariffs for the first time in our lifetimes. We're tariffing them and they're okay with that. I mean, the change is before us. We see it. We're just not, I see it. It's very plain and clear to me. That's why I'm talking to you guys, trying to get you guys to see it if you don't already. The EU basically took U.S. taxpayer dollar that was supposed to be used for the defense of Europe, according to their charter. And they took $630 million of that, or $330 million of that, and used it to fund 630,000 illegal immigrants to come through our southern border. In any other, if it was Russia, China, Iran, Pakistan that you did that to, it would be a declaration of war. If you did that to England, France, or Germany, it would be a declaration of war. But because we have Trump, and well, it could have been Neil Hahn, but it's Trump. He cut a deal and said, hey, instead of us killing y'all, we're going to make things economically right, and we're going to kill your economic strong arm that you've had over us for 90 plus years. And that is what's been happening since 2016-ish. It takes a while to cut the umbilical cord of the strangulation. But that's what's been happening. That's why we've been facing all this bull crap. And he also pointed out that we know the origin of COVID and how the bioterrorism started. And it came from Ukraine, bringing back attention to the origination of that war and the destruction of their bioweapons labs, for which no one wants to talk about. So everything is explained if you just listen, hear what they say, not just what they say, but hear what they say. And that's all I've done. And I've seen this picture pretty clear. I can't give specifics, obviously. On my stocks and crypto, I'd like to think I'm pretty damn close, along with precious metals. I'm pretty sure I pick all the winners. But hey, what's up, Gerald? I'm glad that, I was able to get out of a 2-week worldwide ban of my show that I received yesterday from YouTube. And that's why I stated in this post it was a test of a live stream, because I didn't believe that they unbanned me for 2 weeks. But apparently they did. What they've probably done is they won't send the message out that I'm doing a live stream, and they'll shadow ban me instead. Yeah, you know, strike 1, strike 2, strike 3, you're out, right? Yeah, maybe I ought to lighten up on the truth, huh? Just be happy they're allowing me to give you all snidbits of it. But if you do go back, Gerald, and watch that video, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes ago, it was the last video before I started the chat and showing this last cool video. It was on economics and the progression of all the economic theories and how we've gone through all of them, and no one knows what's next. It's a good video. No, I haven't talked about him yet. I've been going light, actually. And quite frankly, I was going to end it because, like I said, it was only basically to show some cool, funny videos, a good economic principles video, and generally just to run my mouth. Yes, indeed. Indeed. And yes, definitely. God bless America and everyone here. I'm going to end this stream right now. Make sure that you eat cake and enjoy it. Just not the way they want you to. You guys have a great weekend. Bye bye.